Tosin and Wunmi stood transfixed, their breaths caught in their throats. They watched as Adaeze lay crumpled on the floor, clutching her stomach. Blood trickled from her nose and mouth, painting a gruesome picture against the tiles. The surrealness of the situation hit them like a wave. This couldn't be real. They must be dreaming, or worse, hallucinating. Their trance was broken by the shrill ring of Adaeze's phone. The caller ID displayed Vanessa. They knew they had to take the call. Wunmi, trembling, answered the call. Vanessa's voice, frantic and filled with concern, cut through the air. Babe, I'm almost there. Don't allow them to do anything to you. Wunmi relayed Vanessa's message to Tosin, who was already lifting Adaeze's limp body, determined to carry her to the hospital. We can't wait, Tosin insisted, his voice firm despite the panic in his eyes. Wunmi hesitated, fear of the unknown consequences gnawing at her. What if the doctors blame us? Tosin's patience snapped. Is Adaeze's life not more important right now? Tosin carried Adaeze down the stairs, each step heavy with urgency. As they reached the car, Vanessa's vehicle screeched into the compound. She jumped out, her eyes wide with fear and fury. What have you done to her, you wretched soul? She screamed at Tosin. Put her in my car, now! Without another word, Tosin placed Adaeze in Vanessa's car, climbing into the back seat with her, cradling her head on his lap. Vanessa sped off, the silence in the car filled with silent prayers and the sound of the tires against the asphalt. Wunmi, seeing the car drive out of the compound, walked right back into the apartment, packed up her things, and left immediately. They arrived at Dr. Ibe's hospital, where a gurney awaited them. Vanessa had called ahead, informing Dr. Ibe of the emergency. Adaeze was whisked away into the ICU, leaving Vanessa to handle the next steps. She immediately called Adaeze's mother, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. Mom, it's Adaeze. She was poisoned. She's in the ICU now. The shock and horror in Adaeze's mother's voice was palpable. Jesus, poisoned? How? Mom, I don't have the details. Please get here as soon as you can. Vanessa hung up and dialed the DPO. Good afternoon, sir. I want to report a case of attempted murder. It's against Mr. Tosin Jegede of Escort Bank. I have evidence to support the claim. We are presently at Accord Hospital. The DPO's response was swift. We'll be there shortly, but you'll need to come to the station to make a formal statement. Vanessa agreed and returned to the lobby, where Tosin sat with a blood-stained shirt, looking devastated. She approached him, her eyes filled with loathing. Your misery just started, she mouthed silently. As Tosin sat in the lobby, his mind drifted back to the beginning. He remembered the first night with Adaeze, how he felt like he had found love, and how it felt to be wanted only for his body, not his heart. He recalled that the next Monday, Becky had come to him with a proposition. He was about leaving the office for lunch when one of the security guys led somebody towards him. The face looked familiar, but he could not place where he knew the face from. She introduced herself as Becky, Adaeze's friend from Friday night. They exchanged pleasantries and she asked if they could go somewhere to talk. Tosin agreed and told her he was actually stepping out for lunch. They went to an eatery that was just a stone throw from his office. I know you'll be shocked seeing me, and 1,001 things have gone through your mind trying to figure out why I'm here. Don't worry, I have not come to snatch you away from Adaeze. You're not that hot. Becky giggled. The thing is that I know Adaeze does not love you. She is my friend and I know her too well. She just needs a man in her life to warm her bed when she really needs it. So you are going to satisfy her, satisfy yourself, and satisfy me in the game. Tosin was looking at her dazed. He still did not understand what was going on. Becky put her hand in her handbag, brought out her checkbook, and in front of him filled it for 1.5 million naira, handed it over to him, and told him he would write his name when they were done discussing. You see, 2 years ago, I was in love with this guy, and I told Adaeze about him. I begged her to help me convince the guy about me since he was one of their customers. She preached to me how it was not necessary to run after a guy who is not interested in you, blah, blah, blah. I begged her to still talk to the guy. Every time I asked her what was up, she kept telling me she had not had the chance to talk to that guy. She later organized a Friday night out for all of us and invited the guy. Throughout the party, the guy kept making advances at her, and she did not even try to push him away and direct his attention towards me. A few days later, I found out from Vanessa that a guy asked her out and that she decided to give it a shot. So, pardon me, it's my turn for revenge. I need to make her feel what I felt when she betrayed me like that. Tosin chuckled, raised his hands, and told her, I don't know how I'm supposed to serve your revenge. All I need is an agreement from you, Tosin, that you will play along with me. Don't worry, nobody will get hurt. It will just blow over in a matter of weeks and everybody will return to their normal lives. Do you have any close female friend that we can work with? Tosin thought hard, and that was when Mimi came to mind. Becky called the shots, told them what to do, when to do what, and how to do it until the plan was eventually hatched. The police arriving at the hospital lobby brought him back from his deep thoughts. He was arrested on the spot. As he was led away in handcuffs, he saw Vanessa talking to Adaeze's mother, her face a mask of grief and determination. Sitting back in his cell, Tosin could only imagine what Wumi and Becky, his accomplices, were doing while he was sitting in the cell. He had not thought things would turn out this way. He has called up his friend who is a lawyer who will help advise him on the possibilities that will come from this case and how best to handle things. He prayed Adaeze recovered. At least she would be able to testify that he was innocent and did not want her dead. His lawyer friend Benro came to meet him the next morning to discuss the case with him. He narrated everything, starting from the first day they both met in the bank, to the meeting with Becky, to planning with Fumi and Adaeze's call and visit. The lawyer asked if he had made a statement, and he responded that no one had asked for his statement. Benro stormed out of the holding room and started shouting at the policemen he saw there. He asked them how they could arrest a man without taking his statement. The policeman on duty stammered, Oga lawyer, no be me arrest him, but the people wey dey duty yesterday evening. Oya, make him come make his statement for here. After his statement had been read, the DPO sent people to go and arrest Wumi and Becky as accomplices to the attempted murder. The trial began a month later, with Adaeze still in a coma. The media frenzy was intense, with public opinion divided. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation as Vanessa and Adaeze's mother testified. The prosecution presented Vanessa's call recording as damning evidence, while the defense argued lack of motive. The case dragged on. Tosin's family was running around to get all the help they could. Becky's lawyers were the main lawyers doing all the work. Wumi could not afford a lawyer, so the government gave her one who wished he was on the prosecuting side. On the day of the final hearing, as Adeze's mom was about driving out of the house, the security man stopped her and said, Madam, as I dey clean my house today, now I see this paper. Now Madam Adeze security man carry am come that day where Madam Adeze get accident. As everything wey dey happen that day happen, I no come see say the paper dey there. Abeg no vex, madam. She collected the letter from the security man and scolded him. She opened the letter and started reading it on their way to the court. She was in shock when she saw that the letter was from Adaeze, apologizing to her and telling her that she had to do what she was about to do in order to have the perpetrators of the crime that frustrated her pay a befitting price for what they did to her. Adeze's mother was crying by the time she got to the courthouse. She located the defendant's lawyer and handed him the letter. She told him she would not be happy seeing another woman's child pay for a crime he did not commit. The lawyers had to ask to see the judge in his chambers before the hearing began. After the judge saw the latest evidence, he asked all the lawyers to go and prepare themselves for closing statements in the light of the newest evidence. Adeze's mom received a call to say that Adaeze had been resuscitated and was now out of coma, and she had to rush to the hospital to meet with Adaeze. With the new evidence, Becky, Tosin, and Wunmi were acquitted of attempted murder charges, but were convicted of blackmail and extortion and sentenced to 3 years each. And Adaeze was fined 5 million naira for tampering with evidence. Adaeze and her mother decided to leave Nigeria for a few weeks, seeking peace and recovery after the tumultuous events.